All right. So I'm gonna kind of skip past a little bit. I do want to talk about podcasting though, with you. Let's get into I guess why you started podcasting. Like, what made you want to do that?
I started podcasting. I used to own a cleaning business, and I was like, bro, I hate cleaning toilets, and I just decided to sell the cleaning business. And then I didn't know what I was gonna do. I took the money I made off the cleaning business, and I made some small investments. So I basically was making money doing nothing, and that got real boring because I'm one of the people that always have to have something to do.
Be busy.
Yeah, and I was listening to podcasts all the time, and like my favorite podcast is Joe Rogan and Joe Budden. So I was like, I really can combine both of them. Like I can be like the black Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying?
Got
so
you.
originally, I just said this for the first time like this week. Originally, I wanted my podcast to be a super intellectual podcast on like entrepreneurship. That's the ideal I had for a podcast. But the first episode I did was with Blue, and Blue was talking some real crazy wild stuff, and I played it for like 10 people, and they all was like, bro, you have to put this out. And I was like, nah, this is stupid. And they was like, nah, put that out. And I put it out, and I think like the first day I put it out, it had like 70 something plays. And you're a podcast, so I know you know that's a lot for a podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's when I was like, man, I might got some, dog, because I was seeing other podcasters that I know of, and they have been podcasting like 2-3 years, and they was getting like 20 plays. I'm like, dang, the first day I got 70 something. I was
You
like,
had something then.
yeah. Then that's when I realized like, I don't too much think people want to hear that intellectual stuff. Like the second episode was on some intellectual stuff, and folks was not feeling that. You know what I'm saying?
Was it any point you felt like, well, since that's what you wanted to do, like you wanted to have an intellectual, but you see people liked other stuff, you didn't think about like maybe combining it? Like, how'd you start doing that?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing. So like, when it comes to podcasting, it takes you a minute to get in your groove. Like you got to record a couple episodes. So I'll say I had recorded like 20 episodes before I knew what kind of podcast I really wanted. I was like, man, I'm kind of funny on accident, and I am an intellectual person, so I can combine the both. Really, I can do a podcast about anything. Like I done had people on my podcast from all different walks of the earth. So like I can talk about anything. It ain't just gotta be funny, and it ain't just gotta be no intellectual stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, just talking about that intellectual stuff every week is boring. It's boring as hell. Like I wouldn't want to hear that every week. So I was like, bruh, I don't mind doing somebody who created their OnlyFans and doing a podcast on it because it's interesting and you can learn something from it. Because a podcast is supposed to be informative and entertaining, and a lot of people are missing both. They just talking in front of a microphone.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that last line you said. I think I said that last week, but I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna send. I'm gonna send that. 'Cause I said something on Twitter the other day, and you said I stole it from you.
You did.
I might have did. I don't know, but it sounded like I made it, so I'm just throwing it out there.
No. I know you stole that from me though, because I had just told you that I did.
I woke up just thinking that, so it could have been. I probably wasn't paying attention at the time, and then it probably popped my mind. I don't know. But I guess I'm gonna ask you some questions about podcasting that probably you wouldn't normally ask. So the first one I'm gonna ask is, what's one podcast you did, right, that you wish you can get back because maybe you feel like you ain't tackled it where you should have tackled it? I'm talking about this from the very beginning. It could be from your first episode, second, third. I don't care. Like, what's one podcast you be like, if I could do that one over, since you like, as you grow, you get better. You can do it over now.
It's a podcast I did recently. I know I would love to redo. It was with DJ Nightmare, and me and Kel actually had a conversation about it, and he was saying that he felt like I was interested in the podcast and I was on my phone, but that's not really what happened. What happened was like some personal stuff was going on and people kept texting me about it, so I was just texting people back or whatever, but I was still engaged in the conversation because I'm real good at multitasking. But I wish I could had that back and tackle it kind of a different way, because I think everybody was looking for like an interview style from him. But I had a conversation with him at his bar, and we had like a real good conversation. And I was like, it'll be great to have a podcast with him, because a lot of people don't understand the difference between a podcast and an interview.
Right.
I was like trying to do a podcast, but I think a lot of people wanted an interview, and I could have gave him a great interview. So,
and I guess that's kind of what. So how do you choose like what what direction you're gonna go into with each guest, because you'll promote a podcast with, let's say, DJ Nightmare, and you got people expecting one type of podcast or one type of interview or one type of, let's say, content. They're expecting certain kind of content, and when they're not getting that, do you feel like you let them down, or you feel like you need to explain exactly what was going on and how you approach that interview or that podcast?
Honestly, dog, it's kind of like how you always say, dog, podcasting is like a form of art. So, like, you're going to get something from whatever it is. And kind of how I try to paint it, I start out with topics. I kind of got away from this, but normally when I first started my podcast, I start with topics, and I'd be like, hey, this person will be good for this topic. And then I make a podcast out of it. Interviewing ain't never really been my thing. I'm going to be honest, I only really start interviewing because I used to listen to your podcast all the time, and I used to be like, he's really good at interviewing. I need to brush up on my interviewing styles so I can, like, broaden my audience. That's the only reason why I started doing interviews.
I was going to say that because I know when you first started, like, to sit down with someone, you would do a lot of just topic-based questions. And I think even when, because it's a sit-down, so you're just talking with the person. There's nothing, like, geared towards interviewing, but I guess in podcasts you have to do that anyway because you're talking so much. You're gonna ask questions at some point.
Yeah.
But you gotta think when people come on, especially in the climate we in right here. This is just in the city. Let's say city based, right? I think people come on certain platforms and they look for certain things. So if that just keeps in DJ Nightmare, let's say he's seen the interview with Native Sounds. Yeah, that was an interview. You know what I'm saying? That's an actual interview.
A great interview too.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, I was on that one, by the way. But definitely, so he probably not him, but people looking for that because they like that, so they seen that one. So that's what I'm asking. Like, how can you make the audience understand that it's gonna be different each week might be different. Like no episode gonna be like the last one. So if I see Native Sounds and then I see you have Trues on, you might talk to him differently than you talk to them because y'all might have two different kind of agendas. I guess it depends on what they're promoting too at the time. So how do you navigate like what you're gonna do for each particular person?
Really just depending on what's going on. Like, so as far as interviews, you know what that person is trying to get from that. But me personally, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, dog. I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, but I really don't care about none of that structure stuff. I'm not good with structure. You're gonna get out of this interview what I feel like is entertaining and what I feel like is going to be a good interview. You know what I'm saying? Because I do not want my interviews to be the same. Like, bro, you already know it's only a couple good podcasters in the city. You know what I'm saying? Of course you know that. I'm telling this to the people. There's only a couple good podcasts in the city. So if you go and do everybody's podcast, you don't want to come to More Than the Masters and he asks you, so what made you start rapping? And then come to Sit Downs with Slim and I ask you, so what made you start rapping? You don't want to keep hearing that. Like, bro, how many times you watched the interview on Breakfast Club, Hot 97, Elliot Wilson, and they talked about the same exact stuff in the same order over and over and over again? Bro, I study stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm never going to be that person.
The only thing I can say about that is I agree with you on that. But I do like, though, for like, and I guess it depends on the guest. Like, we won't have, like, I ain't even gonna get into that because I feel like I'm critiquing too much. But for the guest-wise, there are certain guests, like, say Kevin Hart. He can go all three of them, and, like, it's still entertaining each time he tell a story. He might add a little different something here and there. Almost like how you do. Like, you might tell a story on here, but you told it way different when Bianca was here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that one story you told about the gas that you stole, you told it different when Bianca was here than what you told just now. So it just depends, like, on the person too. Like, I don't want to ask the same question somebody else asks. That's why I don't write questions down. I just kind of pick up on the vibe and go from there. But like I said, you do topics. So sometimes topics are just easier than podcast than interviewing. Honestly, you get that person opinion on certain things and y'all vibe from there. But I think with Nightmare, I like this. I don't know. I can't see people seeing. I liked it. I guess I wasn't going into that podcast wanting one thing. I didn't know what to expect.
But you're also like a fan of podcasting. Most people don't know what podcasting is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the vibes I picked up on was just different. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to get into that. So, like, let's say podcasting. What's the one you think that when you first started, what's a podcast that you feel like you hit everything? Like, it was like your perfect one, like your favorite one of all time.
Earlier in this interview, I was talking about a guy named Brian Andrews that made the basketball team over me. I did a podcast with him and it was great. I'm talking about just I felt like we hit every pocket, and then on top of that, like it was like the scenery. Bad thing about it is I left my card, my camera card at home, and I was in Atlanta, so I didn't get to record no video. But I really ain't need it. Like, bro, we was at, I think, like the W or something. We was on, like, the top floor just looking over the whole city of Atlanta and just talking about business. It was a great podcast. That's my favorite one, bro. I'm not going to say that's the best one I probably did, but that's my favorite one. I got some solo ones I think is great.
So, any of your listeners, like, what do you think they say their favorite one is of you? Because everybody got their favorites of somebody's particular podcast. So, like, for yours, what people like the most from you? Not your podcast. I'm talking about style. What style they like most from you? They like when you do a solo joint. They like when you have a guest on. Like when you interview. When you do topics. When you be trolling. Like which one they like?
I really don't know. I think the favorites be the ones with Blue, and I got one coming out on Tuesday with Blue and B Cooks, and that's probably gonna be the best one I ever did with Blue. It's hilarious. It's gonna be called Vote for Blue for President.
Definitely not doing that. Just gonna throw it out there.
You gotta listen though.
Trust me, it's well worth a listen. I seen it live. I seen it live.
And that's another thing. I don't like going live during my podcast.
Yeah, I know that.
I hate that.
But I don't think the person knew, so it's what it is. Yeah. You probably should address that. But hey, but I guess for me, I want to ask you some misconceptions of you based on podcasting. Cause I told that last week in my podcast that I just did, which got a good feedback. From your opinion, what's some misconceptions of you? Because of you podcasting. Because when you podcast, people they think that that's you only. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they see. You don't just post pictures. You don't just talk for no reason. Everything is kind of podcast based for you. So they see Slim the podcaster. So not who you are, not Rodney, not who you are in real life. Rodney Eugene, but Slim the podcast. Slim the podcast.
You need my social too? Dang, boy.
I do scam sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
But as far as podcasting, one of the biggest misconceptions is a narrative that you painted of me being this misogynistic woman hater. You painted that narrative. Honestly, though, it does come from somewhere, because when I did that episode, that dating 101, and I was super promoting it.
Just so you answer the question. Everything you saying is stuff that you did. So you saying I painted. I ain't saying not a word yet.
But listen though, let me talk about this real quick, dog. That dating 101 episode, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I had been thinking about it for months before I did it.
You called me before you did it. You called me before you did it.
Yeah, and I had so many good ideas on how I was gonna promote it, and I knew it was gonna be a good episode. I knew for a fact it was gonna be a good episode. And when I put it out, it got a lot of plays. I think it had like 100 plays the first day. And I was thinking like this gonna be the one or whatever. It was all fun and games. It was jokes, straight jokes. You know what I'm saying? Now, if anybody took it seriously, that's on them. That was jokes, and I didn't say like no crazy stuff about women on it. I said some real stuff like women have high standards. They know what they want and they go after that. Men have low standards. Them facts.
I don't know. People gotta make their own decision on that, all I know is that, you made a podcast. I thought it was funny, you know what I'm saying, to me. But I didn't paint that picture, you know what I'm saying. I think that over time your listeners probably paint it, but you have been on the podcast, or you've had little things you say in your podcast where like it seems that way. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's me. I ain't telling you to say it, you know what I'm saying.
Nah,
your microphone.
That picture, dog.
I ain't never make you say anything. Anything you ever said is because you wanted to say it.
Yeah.
But
I was just joking.
Aside from misconceptions, like another misconception I think of you is I painted this narrative for you. I called you like the rapper guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Because at one point you had a lot of rappers on your podcast.
Oh yeah, that's another one. That's another one we can get on, dog. I am not the hip hop podcaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love hip hop music and I support a lot of artists that's in the city. So of course I'm gonna have interviews with hip hop in my YouTube channel. This is kind of how I separated it. Like I do podcasts or whatever, and I've been trying to put every podcast that I put out, dropping them on my YouTube channel on Fridays. But as far as interviews, I only drop on my YouTube channel. That's how I've been trying to separate the two. But I am not the hip hop guy. I don't have the podcast where all the hip hop artists can come and they can get an interview. Only certain artists can get an interview from me.
Bingo. See, the thing right there is the interview part. Cause you do more than that. There, you got sit down with Slim. You got shots with Slim.
And you want to talk about the album reviews?
You got no. You did. No, let me tell you. You got. We gonna get into the album reviews. That's the perfect thing to get into album reviews, because it wasn't that you did album reviews. It was just you did specific album reviews for specific artists. That's what it was.
Somebody asked me that recently too. They said, "So when you gonna put an album review out about an album you don't like?" And I said, "Bro, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The people listening, I'm gonna tell you because I don't care. I'm only doing album reviews for albums that I like."
I got you. That makes sense though, because
I'm not wasting my time going on no camera talking about I don't like something.
Somebody paid you. They said, "Hey, I give you $100, you do an album review or whatever, or X amount of money, you get an album review," and you didn't like the album, would you still do it? Or you tell them up front, like, I don't like it, so you still want me to put it out, or what?
I wouldn't do it.
Shit, you got me messed up. I'm telling you, I'm gonna do it. I'm just me personally.
Nah, I ain't.
Music, I mean, like music is music. Like you said, Kale told you he like your podcast with Nightmare, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta take it. That's it. Now you can't. What you gonna do?
But if I did do something like that, I would have to, balance them out. Like, give some constructive criticism. But I wouldn't just get on there like Joe Budden and be like, "This is a 2-pack of ass." I wouldn't get on there with that.
He got to sell a podcast. You might need to do that. You might need to do that. But I'll say this though, you have done a lot of things in the rap. Because remember that time that guy had did the list. Mm-hmm. You made a whole vlog telling him the list was ass. You were like, it's trash. It's super trash. And then what happened? Had him on the podcast the next week.
Yeah.
But you got flack for that also, for not going hard enough, pretty much, or whatever. So I asked that because all these rappers are entertain. I just say rappers because it's not even entertaining, just rappers really. They kind of flock to you because you do the camera work. Your best friends are rappers. They are heavy in the rap scene out here. They're a top rap group out here. And then you got the video shoots. You hang around rappers, like you're around them. So naturally, you're the rapper guy. Like you more accessible in this world of podcasting and just form of entertainment for them to reach you and say, "Hey, I need this done. I need this done."
That's what come with it though. But I didn't that's not what I set out to do. Just so happened I got a camera from the last podcast I was doing, and I was like, dang, now I got this camera and I'm starting to figure this camera out. I might as well start doing photography and videography also. And with that comes, "Hey bro, you'll shoot my vlog? Hey bro, let's do this photo shoot," which I like doing. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. Like, I prefer to do photo shoots with rappers, dog. I'm just gonna be honest, because I like that grimy street stuff. Like, I love street photography. Studio photography, I can do it, but I like that grimy stuff, dog.
Nah, I like your work and stuff. I'm just telling you, like, because you say I paint this narrative. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, like, I didn't say, "Hey, Slim, go to the club, go to the studio." I ain't tell you that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say, "Slim, hey, go do this vlog or make a vlog about this list." These are things you did. Don't say I created a narrative. You create that narrative for yourself.
Bro, I literally did stuff like that because I just be waking up and be like, "Man, let me record a video," and I'll scroll through social media and be like, "A list," and I just turn the camera on and just make a video
just go crazy.
That's dog. When I first started my YouTube channel, that's all I did. I just woke up in the morning time, like before I started my day, scroll through social media, and I just made a video on the first thing I seen.
How do you navigate in the sense of trying to not show favoritism to people, especially to artists and rappers or just in that realm? Because we could be honest here, you've had Trues on like maybe 5 times or something like that. I don't know. I don't think no other rapper have been on so many times. You know what I'm saying? So obviously now people look at you as like, I don't know, the top Trues fan or something like that. So you got that one, and then you got a podcast, right? So how do you determine? Okay, well, I really ain't trying to do the rappers this week, but you know how to go. You do a rapper, rappers hit you up. They see one interview from this rapper and it's good, or a podcast from this rapper and it's good. It's like, well, now you got five rappers in your inbox saying, "Let's get up." Now, I know how I handle it. I just open it and close it. How do you handle it? Because I'm
going to be completely honest and answer the question, dog. I do show favoritism. Native Sounds are my brothers. Whatever they want to do, I'm doing it. I like Trues. Trues has a lot of drive. He's been working very hard consistently over these years. So if Native Sounds or Trues hit me up, or Hen, or Lil Nah, people like that, if they hit me up trying to do some work, I'm doing it every time. There's probably some more people that can hit me up and we can work something out. But besides that, if I don't like how you move and I don't like what you got going on, I'm not gonna too much care about that. You know what I'm saying? I work with somebody, but it's a price behind it. But I work with anybody, dog. It just depends. Now, as far as me seeking people, dog, I only like to seek people that's kind of like-minded, like me, or like you, like somebody that work hard and that's consistent with what they do. So yeah, it's true. I show favoritism.
I mean, I only ask that question because I know you get a lot of that. Because you out and you more accessible to the people or rappers, whatever the case may be.
I know, and you think I'm gonna have a Charlamagne moment and somebody gonna punch me out, huh?
No, I don't know. I hope not, because I mean, I be around you a lot. I'm like, damn, I don't want to go online and ever see like, yo, you got snuffed or something like that. That'd be kind of wild. I feel like I wouldn't even call you like, damn, man, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to wait till you be okay. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just watch it back. I mean, you good though, you know.
Nah, I ain't tripping.
You good. Now, also want to get into like just podcasting in general, as far as like taking podcasts more so under the wing, or the fact that now you're more seasoned. You do more than just podcasting now. You know, you produce other podcasts as well. So in producing, I know how that go. It comes promoting. You know, you got to promote the podcast. It's never competition because to me, if you're producing it, that speaks more volume. You got your own, but you're producing it, so it speaks volume. So you kind of push it out, but you kind of promote it because you're promoting you producing, not so much the podcast anyway. But that's another story. That's another topic. How do you handle your business as far as like producing? Because that to me that was tough. That was tough to like do. I did it on the fly, and once I got my feet set in doing it, I noticed it was something I didn't want to do a lot. I don't think people like really value time. Like
I'm gonna be completely honest, dog. When it comes to producing, it's a super easy way to make money, so I don't mind doing it. I love being around podcasting, but I'll talk about the downsides of producing. A lot of podcasters suck. So having to record them for hours and sit in that room, especially like Lipstick podcasts. Doing Lipstick podcasts is probably the worst in the world. Like if you got to sit down and produce a podcast.
Lipstick? What's that mean?
Lipstick podcast, for the people that don't know, is podcasts with women and they only talk about sex and relationships. Those are the worst podcasts in the world. I'm going to be completely honest. If you're a woman and you're thinking about starting a podcast about that, don't do it. It's 100 of them out there already, and I promise you your sex life is not as interesting as you think it is.
Real quick before you finish. So, you see how you said all that stuff just now? I didn't pay anything. I'm just letting you know, like, that whole thing you just said, it sounded... Hey, to you, it's fine.
I can say something about guys if you want me to. Guys, don't start another sports podcast. There's too many of them out there.
I don't know a lot of sports podcasts. I don't know.
Oh, I do. I know a lot of them, dog.
But I'm just saying with the girl one, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes you do be kind of hard on women. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Sometimes
that wasn't that hard.
That wasn't that was
honest,
light,
bro. It's
that was light
because it's like, dog. Okay, it's kind of like having a conversation with somebody. What I like about conversations that I have with people like you or people like Kel or my dog Big King is we can talk about anything, right? I would never sit down and talk to somebody that only wants to talk about sex and relationships. Because my biggest question is always, if you care so much about this, why aren't you married?
All right.
Where's Prince
No. We gonna move on. We gonna move on. Yo, you are wild. You a wild guy.
That's real though.
Sit down with Slims. I like the show. You know what I'm saying, of course. But let's get back to the yo. This is funny. This is gonna be some funny clips. I wish I can get Sonya face. I know. But anyway, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? So I do wanna say something about Sonya real quick though. One thing I could say is having that opposite sex, I don't know what to say, female or woman with her sometimes, I don't know. Having that woman's ear, you know, if you say something that is off, I kind of knew how to, I think I shaped the way I talk doing podcasting, you know what I'm saying? So like, where like you just said that and you probably don't feel like nothing was wrong, and it probably wasn't, I don't know. But I know for me, I'm thinking about her like, okay, nah, she ain't, I shouldn't say that. So it's not that I'm saying like you are a certain way, but the way things are worded, sometimes it can seem that way. But you hard on men sometimes. You hard on men sometimes too, especially like certain people that you just not rocking with.
Bruh, whenever I say stuff, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or nothing. And you're right, it is about reading the room.
It sounds very good what you said, but I'm just telling at the same time, it's like, yo, I could imagine a woman like, what's wrong with him? Like you just pretty much said like, if you ain't married, shut up about sex.
Bruh, I'm gonna be honest, dog. Everybody ain't gonna like you. Everybody ain't gonna like what you got to say. So this is my opinion. I just told somebody this yesterday because they sent me some disgusting messages on Instagram, and they was like, "You always want people to agree with you, bro. I don't care about people agreeing with me. These are my opinions."
Facts.
And then on top of that, like I said, Shawty, you ain't gotta watch my show. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you even talking to me? You don't have to watch my show.
You go too far sometimes. See, that part is going too far. But
No,
it's
that's
so good.
real, bro. Like,
It's so
bro,
good.
if I ain't like if you did a podcast about something I didn't like, I just won't watch it.
Fact, yeah, and that's true. That's true.
That's all you got to do.
I can see that now. I can see that a little bit, but yeah, I think what I'm saying is people hit you up like, yeah, Slim, yeah, you gotta chill. But what I will say is, you do a lot of stuff though. Like aside from that, but you help a lot of, I say women too in the podcast, and you give pointers. You'll go pull up and show people what to do. Like you do a lot of stuff that I wouldn't do. That it just ain't gonna, that people not gonna speak on. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna keep it short because I know we ain't got much time. But the reason why I help a lot of people when it comes to podcasts, and I'm not saying it's just I'm on your show. When I first started podcasting, I didn't know what I was doing. A couple people knew me for the podcast and stuff, but you had a big platform and you hit me up and they know me from a can of paint and let me on your podcast. And I learned so much from doing that podcast. I was like, man, if somebody hit me up, I'm gonna try to do the same thing that Maine did, because you didn't hit me up on no like competition stuff or trying to see like what I had going on, trying to be nosy. You literally was like, oh, this person's doing the same thing I'm doing. I'm interested in meeting this person, seeing what he got going on, and see if I can give him a helping hand. So I felt that, bro. And it ain't really no competition. Like, if I was to help somebody and they blew up and I still was sitting here podcasting, I wouldn't feel no way about it.
Yeah, me neither.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have no jealousy issues when it comes to that, because I know what my lane is and where I stand. And that leads me to what I really want to say before we get out of here.
See?
I got to say this, bro.
I knew it was something. Go ahead.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, bro. So I love the fact that I wake up every other day and it's somebody trying to do the exact same thing I do, down to my promo videos, down to my YouTube videos, down to my photography. Like, they try to do everything that I do. I like that. Like, it makes me feel good. Like, I'm not mad. I'm not jealous or nothing. But the other side of that, you know, there's always a but.
Oh boy.
The other side of that, dog, bro, put your own twist on it. Like, when I was figuring all this out, of course I watched Joe Rogan. Of course I watched a lot of famous YouTubers, but I put my own twist on it. A lot of people out here is starting these podcasts and stuff and trying to do the exact same thing that we doing. And that's weird.
Why'd you grit your teeth just now? Like, you said
that's
weird.
weird.
You wasn't upset.
Nah, it's just weird. It's like, bro, try to do your own thing, because like the reason why I structure stuff how I do it is because I'm putting out a lot of personality. Dog, if you ain't got no personality, why are you standing in a small room by yourself with a camera in front of you? You ain't selling nothing doing that but personality. Bring some personality and keep it original.
All right. Hey, sit down with Slim, man. This was good.
Hey, and I know I'm the bad guy, Main's the good guy, but I'm gonna say what I want to say, dog. I'm just gonna be honest, dog. I'm gonna keep it straightforward. I'm gonna let Maine be PC.
I don't think it's bad versus good though. You know, because I'm pretty sure I can say the same thing you just said in a different way though. But
you probably can.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I like that shock factor though. That's how I like to talk.
You saw looking at the camera. I say he is bad. I'm gonna let you alone using your bag. So I let you alone. You know what I'm saying? Using your bag though. But really, this is really for I know you gotta sit down with Slims, and you know you'll put all the stuff on the They know what your platform is pretty big. So, but we also got Maine and Slim right now. So let them know they could, you know, y'all could book interviews, Maine and Slim. Kind of get the best of both worlds at that point. So and this was good. It was a good conversation to have with you. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's nothing new to me. We talk all the time. So
yeah, you got me thinking about some stuff I had forgot about though.
See,
that walk down memory lane. I'm like, dang, I was trash.
Yeah, you made the team. You said a long ass story telling me you made the team. It's all good though.
Hoop. For real, I was just telling somebody that the other day, I can still hoop, bro.
Nah,
if I can't do nothing else in this world, I can hoop.
I'm picking Andrews. I'm telling you right now, nigga. I'm picking Andrews.
I would have picked him too.
Hey, they did.
He's more fundamental.
Yeah, he's better. But all right,
and I'm a high head.